So this is going to be my long rant. Um, Seems to me my long videos don't get any views hardly at all. So sometimes it feels like I'm wasting my breath. Um, but I just wanted to notate that human trafficking has been exposed in every part of our institution, and I have plans. And I'm currently working on learning how to write proposals because I have to do everything myself, seemingly. And that's okay. Um, so I'm learning how to write proposals, and I have a whole bunch of systems of reintegral institutional re-education that involves putting options back on the table where uh, these institutions robbed us all. I'm not going to give you my ideas because these are my inspirations, and I deserve to get some sort of wins in my life, and I don't have to give all of it up. Um, I'll I'll give what I feel inspired to give from the Most High God. And the rest of it, use your imagination. There's so many things we can reinvent. And keep it secret for now if you have to, so you don't get scrutiny from the big companies that are keeping us all enslaved. If you have inspirational ideas, write them in a book. Develop a code if you have to, where no one else can read it except you. Um, but the idea is to share. I'm not going to share all of my inventions with everybody because some of these things I'm cashing out on. That's just how it's going to be. I deserve wealth and prosperity and peace, and I will chase those relentlessly. Um, Let me share something about the homeless shelters, which I've been thrown into a couple of times. They are not set up to rehabilitate. They're actually entrapping people. The same people you saw 5 years ago are still stuck there. I got out because I did everything in my power to get out of that situation. Everything. And I want to share my testimony of it's possible, but don't give up on yourself. And don't let the systems of negging and people's words cheapen who you are and what you're here to do. And if you're stuck in those situations, don't give up. Um, just know yourself. Keep your intentions a secret if you have to. Start working on your network outside of the spheres of influence, because one thing I've noticed at the homeless shelters, and this has been all of them so far that I've visited, and I've been to like four, um, they are also in bed with the drug dealers and the pimps to keep you in that low vibrational energy. And to get out of that requires a drastic change of pace, maybe even joining a church or a community that is um, touts itself at least to be helping aid humanity, because you'll hold them to that. That's what I am doing also, is these churches and communities which have said we are here to help, which were at one point here to help give people sanctum and sanctuary away from the woes of the world, because come to find out, the whole world is a human trafficking operation. um the way we make radical change is from within, and if that means being alone most of your life, those friends weren't worth the lemon wasn't worth the squeeze anyway, right? If they're not helping you and celebrating your wins, they're not for you. There's 8.2 billion people in the world, and if you're stuck with those lower vibrational energies of people who will gaslight you back into old patterns, or keep you in their circles to keep buying their drugs and selling your body for sex, or whatever you're into, or whatever you're stuck into, um, they're not your people. There are people waking up and actually going out there and doing outreach and helping rebuild and putting their hands on the project. And I encourage you to keep looking, keep finding. And if you're struggling in debt, just go from fifth gear to third gear. Slow it down a little bit. Eating out is a trap in itself. I mean, yes, it's nice sometimes to treat yourself, but like the idea that cooking becomes part of your daily life should be something that our parents passed down to us. We're the fast food generation, and I'm not talking crap on anybody, but it is what it is. None of that's good for you anyway. It's all poison. All the snacks that we like to enjoy, and I indulge in some crap too. Like, I'm not perfect, but I'm going to be consistent with this. The more you can sustain yourself, and even just buying produce instead of cookies, buying in bulk at Winco or whatever store you can find in bulk, and getting raw foods and whole foods that are healthy and start integrating them into your diet. One of the things I'm doing to help break addictions is I journal everything, even if it paints me in a bad light. But I eat fruit every time I want or have a craving for some other drug. Yes, I'm still into caffeine and nicotine, but those will go by the wayside also as I come back into myself. And with or without these addictions, I'm still going to be hands on the project. I'm never going to knock somebody for where they're at in their journey, as long as they are not actively engaging in harmful activities towards another fellow human being. We are all one race. Doesn't matter the bloodlines or whatever. I'm not going to get rage baited into that situation, because all of us came from somewhere, but we're all here, right? We're all in this together. And like, the things that they took away from us was history, and they wanted to burn books. They wanted to whitewash our narrative yet again. This has happened several times in history. And journaling is important, not necessarily for only our good. It's for a future that I see happening, but we have to be the hands on the project, right? We have to be that. If you aren't, then you're not coming with the rest of us. You're not, once we close those doors, they're closed. And I'm the messenger, the bell ringer, the whistleblower. But I'm getting tired of beating the same dead horse. Like, there's so much abundance out there that I can be chasing. And this is probably my last try, because I was born to create. I can spend my time creating, and I don't have to put them on platforms. I can share my creations with people who matter to me. And to be honest, it feels a lot better to make a drawing for somebody who appreciates it than to spend 10 hours on a piece of art just to have the algorithms mess with it, right? That's pretty disheartening. And to break away from that flow, just get out in nature. Just reorient. Realize you might be alone in the moment, but you're not alone. We got to come back to our bodies, though. We really do. Taking care of yourself, doing something better the next day. Don't beat yourself up. Give yourself a lot of grace, because I know that there are people that control the narrative and use threats of violence and death and all these things to keep perpetuating this narrative of lack. There's no such thing as lack. That's a construct that's being weaponized against us. Now, if you feel like you need the newest things, sure, you're going to be stuck in lack. You're going to be paying forever on something that depreciates in value as soon as you pay for it. Um, I'm not your judge. I'm just the messenger. God is all of our judge. Okay? My name means God is my judge, and that's a reminder to myself too to not be judgy, because who am I to point a finger at anybody? I can't. I was addicted to everything but heroin and fentanyl at one point in my life. So, um, I can't judge. I'm just on a different part of my walk. However, if this last effort of outreach on YouTube doesn't work, and I deem it as just a waste of my time, there are other platforms that provide, and other channels that provide wholesome energy. Music is a big one. Music is life. Music is the creation, music is the vibration, especially good music. I mean, music is, it goes both ways, right? And that was one of the big ways that they controlled us, is changing the literal frequency of music from 432 to 440 to speed us up. The same reason why they have caffeine in break rooms for free often. That's to keep us moving at a pace. And it's the impossible standard, because if you show up and you're the best person on the job doing all of the things, they set that standard for everybody else. I was that person in every job that I did. And then, they phase me out because I make them look bad and I could have their job. So if you're working a 9 to 5, don't give them all of your energy. Give them, act your wage, not your age. You know what I mean? If they're not going to pay you like they appreciate you, give them 40%. Save the rest of that energy for your creation, your co-creation, your manifestation, and your building yourself. Because treating yourself to yourself and your energy, and sharing with the select few that you choose to have in your life that don't force their way in or gaslight you or do all those manipulation tactics, you're going to win in the long run. This is the long game. And I'm at the end of my sharing everything with everybody, and I'm going to get very quiet. The only people that will hear from me are people in my physical realm after a certain point, because it's not changing fast enough, and you don't have to change. What I'm saying is you're invited to, it's an invitation, not an obligation, to be the change that you want to see in the world, instead of flinging mud at the people who are. Because even if indirectly you are flinging mud, you're flinging mud at my people, and that comes with a certain duty and responsibility to handle and take care of. It's not like I want to be here on YouTube making these videos. I don't. I mean, I want to get the message out, but after a certain point, you have to realize, am I just putting myself in a position where I'm getting mocked and belittled? Because it gets to that point. And I'm okay with my writings and my drawings becoming rare again, becoming something special to somebody else, because I thought of them in this dog-eat-dog, fast-paced world. So, there are probably... I might put a few more videos out for tips and tricks or techniques on how to grow vegetables and fruits, and things that are empowering, that will be empowering, but it won't be on this channel. So I'm not going to be a target to a bunch of circle magic users, because I teach sovereignty. I'm sovereign, and I will die sovereign, and I chose to be back here to give the message of sovereignty. And if you're a believer of Jesus Christ and God, you can open the Bible, and there's so many times it's given. There's so many tools in there on sovereignty, especially the New Testament with Jesus Christ. And that's what he was here to teach, was to open up that channel of independence. And he literally died for it, right? I'm not saying you're going to die a martyr, because we're in a new dispensation, and the internet's a good tool when used correctly. But if your videos aren't empowering others and bringing them out of the dirt, maybe, just maybe, it's time to take a good long look at yourself and ask yourself if you really truly have awakened, or you are falling victim to defending the system that will literally just turn you over and find a replacement. It's not my business to pry further than that, because I've set myself up pretty good, and I'm okay with, instead of trying to perpetuate something I've already said over and 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 over again, I'm going to start enjoying my books again and my writing. And the people that want that information will seek that information. And I'm going to go like full shaman mode and full wizard mode. And isolation is not isolation. It's solitude. It's where I can channel from the Most High God. And it gets tiresome. It's like herding kittens. Not hurting, but herding kittens. Herding. I don't even know if I spelled that right. Yeah, I think I spelled it right. Anyway, I've noticed an anomaly. There are some that profess to be of the light, but then in the next video they are flinging mud. Even if they don't say names, they are directing their energy at destruction of others instead of creation of others. And I don't want to be a part of that. I don't even want to be seen near those circles, because I have so many things that I can help with without having to tear someone down directly or indirectly, because that's not creation. That is destruction, and that's defending the system that's failing. And you're going to see it. You're going to see the division, the ones who really chose to be defenders of the dark and the ones who chose to be defenders of the light. It's going to become very obvious very soon. I know I've spent enough time going through different channels to see what people are about. And as far as calling somebody out by name, you won't see me doing that. But you're going to know that sting is for you, because we are all blessed with a conscience. We're all blessed with the ability to access higher knowledge. We are all blessed with creative minds and hands, and it's in our DNA. And I don't need to sit there and set myself up for public embarrassment anymore, okay? That's all on y'all. If you're into confusion and or using your words as weapons instead of tools of creation, we're not on the same ship. And there's more than enough room in the world for us to be able to separate the light from the dark, separating our lights from our darks, because, and I'm not talking about skin color, I'm talking about consciousness. And I've always been talking about consciousness. My tribe is of light, and it always will be. And if it comes to a all-out battle between the light and the dark, I won't mince my words. I will say them, and I won't be afraid to say them, because some people might just need that harsh, rude awakening. And if you've been doing the same thing for 5 years, even if you're making money, are you really growing? Or are you containing yourself to the system that made you?